All right, welcome. So in this video, let's work with some SF objects and talk about how we can create a plot. So far we have loaded up a SF object called US underscore SF, which is a shape file that includes polygons for all of the states in the US and Puerto Rico, I believe, and DC. We have talked about how we can wrangle an SF object. We can extract and slice rows and columns. And an SF object just has a data frame structure. So we can do all of the same wrangling with data frames. We can do that with an SF object. We've talked about plotting them as well. So this question is asking me to create a plot that of all states that border Colorado or California. So in the previous video, we created a nice map of the states that border Colorado. And we can kind of look back at that code. The way that we did that is we first created an SF object that just has the Colorado row in it. Then we went ahead and defined this SF object CO intersects by entering Colorado in as the row index. And so with an SF object that worked very specially, what that did is it pulled off any row in US SF that has intersection with the polygon that describes Colorado. So that pulled off, that's one way that you can subset all of the states that share a border with Colorado. So this is asking us to do something similar with just with Colorado and California. So what I'm going to do is I can take this code over here and plop it down over here. Oh, I've done that already. Um, and what I want to do is include an additional indexing where we're going to say we want to pull off everything that has Colorado, and we also want to pull off everything that has California. And I'm going to call this CACO for California and Colorado. So let me run this code cell, and we can check out. We've got SF object, which is also a data frame. And hopefully, if I've done this right, this contains two rows of data, Colorado and California. So that's what I've duplicated over here. We've already run this command, but I'll leave it in here again. Then what we can do, let me do this in two steps. So let me insert a second code cell over here. So if I run this code cell, it's going to create that SF object again by subsetting two rows from all of the US states. It's going to just pull off California and Colorado. And then what this command is going to do, it's going to go into the full list of states, and it's going to pull off any row that has a polygon that intersects either Colorado or California. And we can run this, and we can see the output here contains a bunch of the states that bordered Colorado, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Kansas, New Mexico. And in addition to the states that we had before that intersect Colorado, we also have additional states that border California. California itself, Oregon, Nevada, those are states that border Colorado. So here I've got a list of all of the states that intersect either Colorado or California. And I've created an SF object called CACO intersects, where all of that information is stored. So now if I want to plot that, and I just want to plot the polygons that make up the states, then I would input my SF object into the st underscore geometry function. That pulls off just the geometry column, the geometry list column, and it's going to plot just the geometry list column like this. So in other words, there's no attribute that was plotted, and that's why we don't have any color to that. If I want to plot one of the attributes, then what I would do is not map this to a geometry, but instead I would indicate the name of the attribute that I want to overlay on top of all of the polygons. So in this case, if I want to put a state name on it, I can put name in quotes beside the name of the SF object, which is CACO underscore intersects. And now I've got a colored map of all of these states laid out over here. So this is just whether or not you want to map an attribute onto it. So just remember, if you have an attribute that you're adding to it, then you would just enter the SF object name followed by square brackets and then the attribute in quotes. If you want to plot just the polygons and not any attribute, then you're going to get a plot that looks like this, that just has the polygons. And again, I need to just insert that into the st underscore geometry function so it's clear that I just want to plot the geometry list column and not any attributes. Okay, so we'll continue on in the next video thinking about how we can merge a SF object with another data frame.